Today we study lesson 105. Color a shape according fraction. The first one, the number under the fraction line tells you how many all parts. How many all parts? 3. 1, 2, 3. And the number on the top of the number of the fraction line tells you how many color part 1. So we color one part. The second one, half. If we have 2 under the fraction line, we read as half. 1 half. The number under the fraction line tells you how many all parts 2. 1, 2. And the number on the top tells you how many shaded part or color part 1. So we color one part. Another one, 2/3. The number under the fraction line tells you how many all parts 3. 1, 2, 3. And the number on the top tells you how many color part 2. So we color 2 parts. 1, 2. The next one, 1 whole. 1 whole meaning all shapes. We color all shapes. The next one, 2/4. 2/4. The number under the fraction line tells you how many all parts 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the number on the top tells you how many color parts 2. So we color 2 parts. 1, 2. 3/4 or 3/4. The number under the fraction line tells you how many all parts. How many all parts? 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the number on the top tells you how many color parts? 3. So we color 3 parts. The next one, half. The number under the fraction line tells you how many all parts. How many all parts? 2. 1, 2. And the number on the top tells you how many color parts? 1. So we color 1 part. Two halves. The number under the fraction line tells you how many all parts? 2. 1, 2. And the number on the top tells you how many color parts? 2. So we color 2 parts. 1, 2. 1/3. The number under the fraction line tells you how many all parts? 3. 1, 2, 3. And the number on the top tells you how many color parts? 1. So we color 1 part. 1. Another one, half. The number under the fraction line tells you how many all parts. How many all parts? 1, 2. And the number on the top tells you how many color parts? 1. So we color 1 part. Two-fourths. The number under the fraction line tells you how many all parts? 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the number on the top tells you how many color parts? 2. So we color 2 parts. 1, 2. The last one, half. The number under fraction line tells you how many all parts, 1, 2. And the number on the top tells you how many colored parts, 1. So we color one part. Remember that. Whole one. Half. If we have 2 under the fraction line, we read as half. Third, 1/3. If we have 3 under the fraction line, we read as third. This shape represents the fraction 1/4 or 1/4. If we have 4 under the fraction line, we read as fourth or quarter. Whole one, half, third, quarter, or fourth. Rewrite each fraction in words. The first one, 1/2. If we have 2 under the fraction line, we read as half. How many halves is 1? If it is read as 1 half. Number 2, if we have 4 under the fraction line, is read as quarter or fourth. How many fourths? 1. If it is read as 1/4. If I write 1/4. Number 3, if we have 4 under the fraction line, we write or we read as fourth. How many fourths is 3? Is read as or is write as 3/4. 3/4. Number 4, if we have 3 under the fraction line, we read as third. How many thirds? 1. If it is read as 1/3. 1/3. Number 5, if we have 3 under the fraction line, we read as third. How many thirds? 2. If it is read as 2/3. 2/3. As I read as I write. Number 6, if we have 4 under the fraction line, we read as fourth. How many fourths is 4? If it is read as 4/4. 4/4. Write the fraction. Number 1, 1/2. Half meaning the number under the fraction line is 2. How many half? 1. The number on the top, 1. We write 1. Half or 1/2. Number 2, 2/3. Third is meaning the number under the fraction line is 3. We put 3. And how many thirds is 2? The number on the top is 2. We write 2. 2/3. Number 3, 3/4. Fourth meaning the number under the fraction line is 4. How many fourths? 3. The number on the top, what? 3. We write 3. 3/4. 1/3. Third meaning the number under the fraction line is 3. How many thirds? 1. 1 meaning the number on the top is 1. If we write 1. 1/3. The last one, 1/4. Quarter means the number under the fraction line is 4. How many quarters? 1. If we write 1 on top of the fraction line, if 1/4. Write the fraction for each shaded part in number and in word form. The first one, the shape represents the fraction. Under the fraction line, we write all the parts. How many all parts? 1, 2, 3, 4. If we write 4 under the fraction line. And on the top, we write how many shaded parts. How many shaded parts? 1. If we write 1. Is read as 1/4. 1/4. The second one, the number under the fraction line tells you how many all parts. 1, 2. If we write 2 under the fraction line. And the number on the top tells you how many colored parts or shaded parts. How many shaded parts? 1. We write 1. Is read as 1/2. 1/2. The next one, the number under the fraction line tells you how many all parts. 1, 2, 3. We write 3. And the number on the top tells you how many shaded parts. 1. We write 1. In word form, or is read as 1/3. 1/3. We write each fraction in words. The first one, as I read, as I write. You know, if we have 3 under the fraction line, we read as thirds. How many thirds? 1. If 1/3. 1/3. Number 2. If we have 2 under the fraction line, we read as half. How many halves? 1. 1/2. 1/2. Number 3. If we have 4 under the fraction line, we read as fourths. How many fourths is 1? 1/4. 1/4. Number 4. If we have 4 under the fraction line, we read as fourths. How many fourths is 3? 3/4. 3/4. Number 5. If we have 3 under the fraction line, we read as thirds. How many thirds is 2? 2/3. 2/3. Number 6. If we have 2 under the fraction line, we read as half. How many halves is 2? 2 halves. Write the fraction. Number 1, 1/3. Third tells you how many all parts is 3. If we write 3 under the fraction line. And how many shaded parts? 1. We write 1 on the top. 1/3. Number 2, 1/4. The number under the fraction line tells you how many all parts. How many all parts? 4. If we write 4 under the fraction line. And 1 tells you how many shaded parts. 1. We write 1. 1/4. Number 3, 2/3. Third means the number under the fraction line is 3. How many thirds is 2? 2 means the number on the top. 2. 2/3. 3/4. Quarters means the number in the fraction line. The number under the fraction line, 4. Quarter tells you the number under the fraction line, 4. And how many quarters? 3. But the number on top of the fraction line, 3. 3/4. The last one, 1/3. Third tells you the number under the fraction line, 3. How many thirds? 1. If we write 1 on the top, 1/3.